East Podcast, WATP.
The show hosted by Mike Calta and his wife, Amanda Calta. Now, Mike Calta has been a radio guy for decades. He's down in Tampa. He's got a big presence there in Tampa. His YouTube channel has just under 12,000 subs, and this podcast averages about 2,500 views per episode. It didn't start that long ago. They're up to episode 7, which just came out yesterday. And I want to start off by showing you how the first episode, this is Mike and his wife, and they have a guy who helps them on the radio show who's producing this thing. And so this is episode number 1, a radio professional, a vet, a guy who's been doing this for decades, as I said. So it's like, hey, let's just turn on the cameras and do what we do. I know how to do this. I'm a broadcaster. I'm sure we'll figure this out and it'll be super easy.
Hello, Michael. You're live.
He's talking. he's talking, I think.
I don't hear you in queue.
It would help if I turned them.
There we go.
How's
Hey,
that?
I think we're good.
It is me and my wife. I am me.
I am the wife.
Yes,
Amanda.
you are. Thank you very much. Welcome to the program.
They have a camera that's just on nothing.
Yeah.
And they were going through all the different camera
I
angles.
thought there was the producer who just left. He's like, fuck this.
Yeah, right. You guys suck at this. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
How do they do this so poorly? How do they not check these? This is like Stuttering John level shit.
I believe he records his regular show out of that studio too.
He does. Yes.
So you would think he would know to turn the mic on.
He should definitely not turn the mic on.
And like Stuttering John, it looks like they both just woke up.
Well, yeah. And she's very confused about what is going on here. She's very unprepared.
This is a serious question for you. These are things that I have picked up in casual conversations with my wife that I just store in the back of my brain and we don't really talk about. You said to me the other day, do you have any idea what I'm about to say?
No. Wait. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How come that camera looks at you and you look at it? Am I on it too?
No, Joe switches back and forth.
But how do I know where to look?
Look at me.
You can look right here, too, if you
It's
want.
over there.
Yeah.
But look at me.
Yeah.
No, I am.
I'm the love of your life.
No chemistry. Completely unprepared. I was not expecting this.
And dumb.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if it was Rich Voss and his wife, I would expect all of this.
I fucking miss Rich and Bonnie after watching this.
Yeah, I know what you mean because it's kind of got that vibe to it, but worse in a lot of ways.
It does.
Because Bonnie's funny.
Right. And she keeps it moving.
Amanda is retarded.
Oh, yeah.
It's not great.
I just met her.
Now,
Yeah, I know. We all just met her. None of us like her.
I think Amanda is stunning and a lovely woman.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Here we go.
I think Amanda's lovely.
Where do you want to go with your clips here, Vinny? You checked out a bunch of episodes.
Well,
I checked out the first and the most recent.
I watched 3 episodes. I watched kind of the middle ones here, but there's a lot of things that are weird about this couple. And she talks to him like a child at times, and I thought that was weird.
Okay.
My first clip is they're talking about the hurricane's about to happen, and he's saying that she's saying we got to stay positive.
Okay.
And then he points out something, and she does not like it. Watch her tone change.
You have to keep positive vibes.
No.
That's how we get through this.
I'm not really a negative Nelly. I'm pretty much a positive guy. You're the negative Nelly in the situation.
That's true.
You were panicking last night.
Yeah, but I had a bad night prior and very little sleep.
You understand? I had very little sleep.
Right.
Like, she's just totally talking down to him at that point because he gave her a little bit of kickback, and they kicked back to the empty chair again. While
Right.
switching.
Yeah, that keeps happening. Also, why not get her levels correct?
Okay.
I've heard them talk multiple episodes about how she talks quietly. Then turn up the mic.
Carl, watch this.
Okay.
My clip 3.
Yeah.
Hit my clip 3 right now because this is 4 minutes into this episode when they explain to her, could you talk into the mic?
Put it in the tube. Now turn it towards you.
All right.
Now turn it towards you.
Yes.
Turn it towards you.
Right.
No, turn the front part towards you. There you
Turn it
go.
towards you. Do you not
Good
understand?
job, kid.
I don't know how to do this job.
You've never seen someone on television before with a microphone in front of them? Or maybe on stage somewhere?
So I have to do a lot of tech shit at the Carlson.
Yeah.
And we have these events all the time where we put up multiple mics for people, and you would be shocked how people don't know how to use a microphone. They will hold it down by their waist.
Oh, I see
They'll
that
hold it over
all the time.
here.
Nope, not under your arm.
Yeah, I love the people who are using their hand to talk while they're holding onto a microphone. And so this guy over here, what he was saying is that this guy over there, you're like, how stupid are you? That's the thing that's picking up the sound waves.
Right. So let's make sure it's pointing the opposite direction of your mouth. Nailed it.
All right, let's talk about the discussion topics they have on this show. Because first episode out of the gate, me and my wife, what are we going to talk about? It's going to be about our relationship, about our family. We probably have a lot of things to get into.
You claimed the other day to have never eaten a Big Mac or a Whopper.
Right.
I cannot imagine that is true.
I don't remember ever eating a Big Mac or a Whopper. If I did, I had to be a child, but I really don't think that I ever have.
When in your adult life, like, what do you usually get? If you roll into a McDonald's now, what would you get?
Cheeseburger or nuggets.
That's fascinating. Please go on.
Why does Mike Calta, a radio professional, and I never listened to his show, I don't know if it's any good, but I've heard he has a good reputation in the industry. Why does he think the first topic of conversation should be, you've never had a Whopper or a Big Mac? And she should have been like, I don't know, whatever. Who cares?
Because he's a radio guy and they talk about nothing on the radio.
That is true.
And I also fucking hate the way she answered that question. Like, she's in front of Congress.
Yeah.
I do not recall if I've ever had
As if he's going to be like, well, guess what? Your mom is here and she's got a different story. Come on in. Like, I wish. Yeah, right. No, there's nothing like that.
She's like a deer in headlights over the most mundane question in the world.
Right. All right. So this conversation actually gets worse somehow.
And then the other thing I was thinking of is, you're right. Who? Not that it's bad, but who eats a Whopper? A Whopper is the Pepsi of the two burgers.
Yes.
Right. When we have gone to restaurants and left the restaurant before, or have decided not to go back to that restaurant because they don't have Diet Coke, because you're into the Diet Coke that much.
But it's a big deal. It ruins my meal.
That doesn't mean shit to me.
Ooh.
Right. But you're not a big soda drinker
No,
or Diet Coke drinker. But
yeah.
if you're a Diet Coke drinker, you're Diet Coke. That's it.
I'm sorry, Amanda. I realize you like Diet Coke. Can you have a different candy-flavored beverage with your meal? A 7-Up, a milkshake,
Nope.
chocolate milk? Can we do something else that's delicious for you?
No, we're leaving.
Fuck you.
Wow.
I believe that.
And Mike Calta acts like that's normal. He's like, yeah, the Whopper's kind of the Pepsi. And I'm like, where's he going with this? It's like, you don't eat there anymore because they have Pepsi. Oh, retarded. Okay. Wasn't sure where he was
Also,
going.
Whoppers are delicious.
Whoppers are delicious, obviously.
So, in terms of their dynamic, Carl, if you'll indulge me, I've watched way too much of these two today, but there were 2 times in the 3 episodes that I watched where I think I kind of got a glimpse of the real people.
Okay.
And I think this might be interesting for everybody. So if you'll bear with me for a second, they are going to set up a story about what happened to them this past weekend. But Mike had teased it, and she is going to correct him to start the story. This is my clip number 5, Carl.
Okay.
Oh.
I did tell a little bit of the story already about what you're about to tell, but let's walk through it.
But I'm sure you didn't tell from my perspective.
No, I did not.
So, and I think that that's important. That
I don't know why. I know what you're going to say.
okay.
How do you tell a story from someone else's perspective?
You probably didn't even tell from my perspective. I actually did not. You're correct.
And you know what? It's important that you tell it from my perspective.
That's why. That's why I'm bringing it up. Go ahead. Give us your perspective on it, Amanda.
Okay. Let's hear this big story that you need to hear from her perspective. Clip 6.
So
Saturday night, we had something about middle school. My daughter wants to have a sleepover every weekend.
Yes.
So it's either she sleeps over at somebody else's house or one of those rotten kids sleep over here. For the most part, we've been pretty good, and she's been sleeping out every other week or so.
Right.
So this weekend, let's be honest. You, what's that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio where they go into people's dreams? You inceptioned it. You incepted Juliana to have a sleepover. Juliana was talking to her friend, and Amanda was like, "What'd you say?"
I just said something like, "Oh, you guys planning your sleepover?"
Because she wanted them to have a sleepover.
Yeah, and they were like, "Yeah, do you think we can? I'm gonna go ask my mom." I was like, "All right."
Because we're going back out to the Hard Rock.
Yeah.
We're bringing our winnings.
Yeah.
And we're going to gamble.
Oh, I thought they were gonna fuck.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. But Carl, a couple of things here. The great story from her perspective is she mind fucked her kid.
Yeah, wow, good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you convinced a child that they want to have a sleepover. That was hard.
Wow.
Great job,
Amazing
Amanda.
job. Are you a Jedi Knight? How did you pull that off?
I mean, like, and he's literally like blowing her for this.
Yes, wow. Chris Angel mind freak right here. Amazing work.
Okay, now Carl.
Yes.
This is an amazing story.
Oh, I bet it gets better.
Okay, part 2.
Right.
So anyway, so we went out to the Hard Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Were you proud of me when I had an altercation with the lady at the restaurant and I backed down and I just calmed down?
She was so rude.
Thank you.
She really was. Normally, I'm like, you're such a jerk off, but
Right.
she was so rude.
And I ramped it up and then I went, not worth it.
No.
And I ramped back down.
No, she was
Okay.
just like trying to be somebody.
I was very proud of myself.
Yes, that was
Okay.
good.
All right, good.
Anyway.
Anyway, back. And we went home.
The worst parts of the stories are the ones where you give zero details and talk about
Zero.
it forever.
Carl.
Remember that thing that happened? Yeah, that thing that happened. I acted this way. You did act that way. And I could have acted that way. No, but you didn't act that way. You acted this way.
Also, I'm disappointed in Mike. He ramped it down just because it wasn't worth it, not because it's the right thing to do, and not talk to
good
people
point. Yeah,
a certain way.
And you know what she also said in there? If you paid attention, she is a therapist. She goes, normally I would just think you were the jerk off.
Yes, she is a therapist, which, by the way,
I
sucks.
forgot about that.
And you could, when you listen to her talk to him in this, you're hearing the therapist. Were you proud of me when I did this? Was it good that I did that?
I'm working
He
on
is
myself.
A very insecure guy, and I'm going to prove that through my clips out there.
Well, whose idea was it to start this podcast? Because I don't know why you would start a podcast with your wife.
A guy who's in radio who's still trying to have content.
Okay,
Who's
so you
trying
think
to
it was
build
his
a YouTube
idea.
channel. Yeah.
And I just noticed the fucking blanket that she has on her. She's on a couch with a blanket. That's a major offense.
That's a major offense. Sit up in a chair
You're on
like
video.
an adult. We're doing a show.
Blanket ass bitch.
right?
People
Okay.
are too fucking comfortable on their podcast. Get uncomfortable.
So, Carl, they got their daughter out, right? They went to the Hard Rock. He was a good boy and didn't back down. What happened next?
And we went home and we went to sleep.
Went home, went to sleep. Joey was out. He was going out with some friends. They were
Joey's
going.
my 18-year-old son who is a pothead
No.
and he's a marijuana user and is not going to college right now. Just kind of finding himself, if you know what I mean.
I don't know why you're saying that has nothing to do with anything.
It does. People need to know.
So what we just saw here is this boring story. They went home and went to bed. Now they're talking about the son, and he immediately starts calling his son a loser, and she immediately goes to cover for the kid, which is such a... Why are you doing this on a show?
That's interesting because I picked up on something from the most recent episode.
Okay.
We're going to learn a little bit more about this family dynamic here.
Okay.
This is the part that I find interesting. When people let their guard down, you find out real shit about how terrible they are at parenting.
Okay.
So they're talking about Bert Kreischer. They go on and on about how much money Bert Kreischer makes because they're
They
buddies.
really do nothing on this show.
Well, Mike and Bert are buddies. And it's the dumbest thing. I didn't pull any clips from it because they did a charity show together where they sold 2,000 seats. And so he knows how much money that nets. And so Bert does that 3 times a week. And then they start calculating his income. And then they start talking about his second and third houses and all this shit. So after all of that, Amanda tries to explain how rich she wants to be. And you could tell that Mike is going, yeah, but we are rich. Like he wants everyone to know, like, no, they have means.
That's how rich I want to be. I want that somebody has to use a calculator to figure out how much money I make.
I feel like I want to be so rich that I don't have to worry about my bills and that
I mean, I think we're kind of there now.
Okay. Shh.
Okay.
Let me say what I'm saying. I want to not have to worry about my bills and I want to be able to like buy stuff if I want it. Nothing like crazy. Just like, if I like a shirt, like I can just get it.
Yeah, it's called
But-
rich.
Just shut up
sorry.
for a second. But I want to want more. Like I don't want to be at the top because I feel like when you're there, it loses its meaning and it's not as fulfilling, right? It's just like whatever. I want to be like, oh, I can't, we want to go fly to Hawaii and stay in like a amazing resort and fly first class. But that's like crazy.
What does that mean?
What point was she trying to make there? I want to be rich, but not so rich I can do whatever I want.
The point is we can't do any of these things right now, though.
Yeah, it seems like she was negging him a little bit. So anyway, the reason why I played that is because that kind of sets up this conversation. Even though I have no idea what point she was trying to make. This is the worst parenting advice because she's trying to say that even though we have a lot of money, our kids are grounded, though.
But I think that they're pretty grounded. Like,
Yeah.
I make sure that I am super annoying and that I complain all the time and that I make them feel bad when I give them money.
Right.
And that I remark on how expensive something is.
There's the parenting advice you need from a therapist right there. I make sure to be super annoying when they beg me for stuff. I go, fine, but I'm mad at you now.
Hey, there's never been a therapist who sat down with parents who are having trouble with their children and said, have you tried being annoying?
Right, yes. So now Mike does not agree that she's doing a good job of keeping the kids grounded.
No, this was the conversation that happened.
Oh, what?
You answered the phone, and you looked at me and you said, Joey's calling from the mall. He wants to buy a pair of sweatpants. I go, okay. And he goes, they're $260. $260.
That, okay.
But-
Insane.
But what did I say?
You said okay.
Yeah. Why did I say okay? Because I used to buy my sweatpants from Walmart, and
Right.
they used to last for 3 washes before they fell apart. So there's no, and I know he's buying stylish sweatpants. They're not just so we can go jogging.
But it's also not like a weekly thing.
Gee, I wonder why this kid isn't going to college. Why the fuck would he care about that?
Hey, Carl, and that clip that I first showed,
Yes.
Mike looks at the camera and lips, loser.
Yes.
And by the way, you didn't play
burnout.
8.5, was her responding to him calling her his
Oh,
son
great.
a loser.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I cut you off there.
Like Joey's in the phase where he's going to the club.
Joey's going to the club, but he's also created a business that he is working on diligently. Anyway, it's beside the point. The point is, he was out with his friends. He was going to a club with some of his friends.
Mom, Dad's calling me a loser again. You don't call him a loser. That's my Joey.
So he's going out to clubs. He's just a loser. He's smoking pot all day. He's
Yeah.
not working. He has started a business and he's working diligently, and that's besides the point. He and his friends were at the club.
Right,
What the
yes.
fuck are you? She's not even listening to herself.
No. $260 sweatpants.
Those you can't even wash. You're not allowed to wash those, Mike.
They're dry clean only,
Right.
which means they're dirty.
What's a session with her like?
I don't think she works.
She's just shaming everyone.
I think she's a therapist. I don't think she works.
Oh, all right.
That'd be my guess.
It sounds that way.
I think Mike makes enough money. It does sound that way, right? Sounds like she's out of practice a little bit, the way that she's talking about this. They're both kind of dumb. So they start talking about the Diddy freak-off parties. And they seem to be confused about an important element of that.
Evidently, Diddy was having big sex parties. Freak-offs, they call them. Now, I don't know how much you want to go into our sex lives, being that our kids may be able to see this on the internet one day.
Right, like none.
Well, but I don't understand. Did you see they got like 7,000 gallons of baby oil?
Yeah.
What's that all about?
I don't really know.
Joe, you know.
I do know, Michael,
Thank you.
but I prefer not to say.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Maybe there was some kind of like wrestling.
kind of.
Good guess.
Or maybe like unconscious and unwilling participants
Someone was pinned.
aren't really ready for that sort of insertion.
Mario Bosco would pick up on it quicker.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, you use it to rape the butts when they're passed out.
The sex thing.
Fucking way to go, Amanda.
They're so stupid. And then they were finishing up this conversation. So Amanda's very guarded, especially around sexuality and stuff, as probably she should be with the 11-year-old daughter who could watch this on YouTube if she wants to. And so Mike's trying to engage in a conversation of, if you were gay, who would you fuck? And she's like, well, I'm not attracted to women. He's like, yeah. If you were, who would you fuck? And this conversation just goes nowhere. Amanda cannot play
How
along.
could it go nowhere?
She can't play along at all. And so then they're like, all right, we gotta get over to the comments.
Well, just full on lesbians. Lesbo is such a more fun word to say.
Yeah. I don't know. You're catching me out of my wheelhouse.
Oh, all right. Sorry. I don't know. This is just something I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Joe, is anybody watching this show?
Yes, we have
11 people.
66 people watching.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
66.
When you get 66 people, it's a complete failure. But when you thought you had 11 and you have 66,
That
it
sounds
is
better.
fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
I forget that I can curse on this thing. Every time I say a curse, it makes me nervous for a second.
Yay. Good for you.
I think 11 and 66 are the same number. Basically, I don't know what the difference is. They seem to be excited about it. But I'm like, okay, that was their first show ever. So people didn't know about it. So fast forward to the show from yesterday. And one of the things they do, because they don't have anything to talk about, is they go, "What are people asking questions in the comments that we can address?" And so they do that again.
Divorce
Check
lawyers
the
are leaving
comments.
numbers.
Oh, we have comment. I don't know that everybody
Do
knows
we have
we're
any?
live. Are we
Is anybody
live?
watching?
Oh, sorry, Joe.
Oh my.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, we have 59 people watching.
Okay.
So it's not going in the right direction, I would say. People are tuning in and going, "Why would I watch this?"
Carl, I think Mike knew what this show needed
Okay.
in one of the later episodes.
Good.
And he makes her very uncomfortable with something. And I think you're going to find this interesting. If you want to skip to my clip 15, Carl.
Yes.
I said therapist, Amanda Calta, but you wear many hats.
Do I?
Yes, you do. You do many jobs. You are a mother.
Correct.
You are a wife.
Yes.
You are by trade a therapist,
Right.
a model.
Not really.
So humble.
Okay. He's trying to get to something, Carl.
Yeah.
And this is astounding what happens next, because she gets very uncomfortable and he explains that you did some modeling.
Okay.
A little.
Have you or have you not modeled for some Jordanian beach tanning sun natural product line?
Yes.
Oh, yes, you have.
Oh.
Let me see. No, that is not. That is not.
No, this is a sexy modeling picture.
No.
I'm showing this.
No.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
What?
I'm going to show you what I have.
Okay.
Okay. He reaches for something.
Yeah.
He's got, I want you to guess, guys. He's got a sexy modeling picture of her that she does not want him to show on the air. But then he says, "Don't worry, I have something over here." What do you think he could possibly be reaching for?
A photo of him in underpants.
Uh-huh. Chris, any thoughts?
I'm
Just to be like, "See,
Yeah.
it's not so bad. Yeah, I can show this.
Sure.
What's the difference?"
Okay. No, but go ahead. Play my next clip.
Do you know what this is?
Uh.
This is a reminder that I keep in my desk to not be a bad person.
Okay. Let me see.
This is a letter that was written to me. You've seen this before.
Oh, from the.
By a
disabled
woman.
girl?
By the what?
The disabled girl.
I don't know. That's a much better way of saying it than the way they say it. Disabled girl. It's a letter that a girl of questionable mental capacity wrote me one time after we had done some weird stuff together. And I didn't doubt her mental capacity until afterwards. And she wrote me this letter and made me a cookbook. But this was also 35 years ago.
Right.
And I keep it here because it is utterly embarrassing, yet a perfect reminder.
Carl.
Did you do some research on this? What's going on?
Carl, he's saying, "I have a letter from a retarded girl I fucked once. And then I have this modeling picture of you."
Was he implying that he banged her?
We did some, yeah, kind of.
I thought maybe he humiliated her
not
on the radio or something, like she was his Wendy the retard or something like
Dude,
that.
I think
well,
he
then
banged
he
her.
wouldn't be vague about it. He said we did some weird stuff together.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so why are you,
Who has
Mike,
a fucked autistic girl or two?
Well, that's retarded.
why would you bring this up right now? You're teasing the sexy modeling picture. It's like, by the way, I have remember the love letter I got from the retarded girl who
Right,
never thought
yes,
she'd
yeah.
have sex, who finally had sex with me? So, Carl,
By the way, I like that you go, guess what he's going to grab? I don't know, maybe a letter from a retard he fucked 35 years ago? Like, how are we supposed to guess that?
nobody was ever going to guess it. I'm sorry.
What an asshole.
Okay. He says this next thing, he keeps going with this picture. Okay. Number 18.
This is not embarrassing. This is kind of, let me show it to Joe first. Not on camera. I'll show it to Joe. Joe, your initial reaction.
I say that's quite lovely.
That is not even. No,
Know what?
I don't approve.
Sometimes on this show you have to do things you don't always approve of.
No.
Is she really going to deny me this pleasure of sharing this picture?
You got to
What?
show it now.
The fuck does that mean? You're going to deny me the pleasure of showing this picture of you modeling for some Jordanian sunscreen that probably causes cancer?
Yeah, there's the lawsuit that we're worried about here, Mike. Maybe don't show that.
Yeah.
Trying to pretend that didn't happen, remember?
And she explains why with my clip number 19, why she
Okay.
doesn't want her to show it.
Good.
that is not a good look.
Yeah, but it's not like
professionally.
Yeah, but this was 25 years ago, and you're also not walking around like this today.
Right.
It wasn't like I said, "Hey, wear that hot outfit that you wore in that Photoshop thing and that photo shoot thing."
Right.
Where are you going with that, Mike?
I believe I put the term Freudian slip in
right.
Okay. So my clip number 20 is the big reveal. This is how.
okay.
So you would think that they were going to put the picture up on the screen and do a big thing to, after you built this up so far.
One
This
would
is
think, yes.
okay. Go ahead, Carl. Here you go.
Like you close your eyes and count to 3.
No, I'm
Why?
not closing my eyes.
Why? All right.
Perfect.
That's not good. I mean, even though the internet nerds will slow that down and get a still shot of it.
That's right. They will. That would be my next one.
Oh, okay.
Number
Very
22.
good. Oh, yeah. Hey.
You admitted fucking a retarded person for this. Like,
A little blurry.
yeah. I mean, not a good look. The wedges and a cowboy hat. Definitely
Yeah,
25 years
I
ago.
wasn't really paying that much attention to the outfit, but you're right.
Yeah.
She's got a nice body on her.
Yeah, agreed. I think she's quite lovely. But this is such a weird thing.
Yeah.
This is a very weird thing to do on your show when you're doing it with your wife. I'm going to show them pictures of you in your underwear.
Right. From 25 years ago, and then follow that with, not that I would have you do that today.
Right.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand what this show is supposed to be about.
They don't either. Because, Vinny, 17 minutes into the very first episode, 17 minutes in.
By the way, if you're just tuning in, this is me and my wife, and we're doing a podcast together. And the familiar face of Pap is running the controls. Pap, can you look at the comments and maybe read out the comments if there's any questions or anything that I should know about?
Yeah.
Let's see. We have somebody talking about self-checkout lane. Someone saying eliminate the predicament. No real questions yet.
Well,
just
let me just say that when it comes to the self-checkout lane,
Let's go to the phones. No phones? Okay. What else is going on? Self-checkout lanes. There's that.
It's good to see that producer. It's nice to see what Jamie Kennedy is up to now.
I picked up on why they'd be interested in Bert Kreischer. Here's another asshole that can't be bothered to open up his mouth when he's talking. He sounds very similar.
Yes.
And he's got that spit thing going on.
Who do you think's relationship is more functional? Obviously, Aaron Imholtz 2 years ago, or these two now?
I mean, I think we're watching that right now. We're
We
watching
might
this
be.
unfold a little bit. So they're talking about, now this is hilarious couple banter right here.
Oh, boy.
As they discuss, what is the date of our anniversary?
how long have we been married?
21 years.
When is our anniversary?
March 22nd.
Oh,
What?
I
What'd you
wrote in
think
our
it was?
bio something that we've been married since March 12th or 13th of 2003.
No, it's
It's 22nd or
22nd or 23rd,
Yeah, I
but it's the
screwed that up.
22nd. It's the 22nd.
Funny stuff, huh? He wasn't sure and he put in the bio the wrong date of their anniversary. Oh, you. Been married 21 years.
Read the letter, Mike. Just read the letter.
Yeah, I do. I do want you to read the letter. But I want to point out, this is episode 7. Things are starting to get serious, and they have to start taking the show a lot more seriously.
This show, it's unbelievable to me too. This show, the Me and My Wife podcast, that I simply named Me and My Wife because it is me and my wife.
Correct.
And other than the fact that we just wanted to do something together, had no real reason to do this. Now we have an Instagram.
Whoa! I didn't realize this show had its own Instagram.
Alert the press.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take it a little more seriously now, guys. And I want to point out how good Amanda has gotten at podcasting, because we were playing early episodes and it seemed like she didn't really know what she was doing. But now these two work very well together.
And what was that one that was, what's the main one on that one that was crazy?
The main one.
The old lady. She was like an old lady.
Oh,
You know what I'm
what's
talking
her
about?
name? It was just her. Like, she was the one that was rich. It wasn't from a husband.
Yes.
She had the eyes popping out of her head.
Yes.
And her daughter was like real weird, and her son,
Well, yeah.
whatever
that,
her name is.
Yeah.
When do you abandon trying to figure out what you're talking about? At what point? Yeah, she would wear that shirt, and she had she lived in a house. You know what I'm talking about, right?
She wrote you that letter.
Hair on her
If I say yes, do you have no follow-up questions?
right, precisely. So they're talking about the Housewives show, And I guess Mike goes way back. He's an OG of the the Beverly Hills episode, Real Housewives. And they're talking about it because they have a live show coming up with a woman who was one of the housewives, the Real Housewives. I don't know, New Jersey or some shit like that.
A live show?
They have a live show coming up, and here they are promoting it. And I got to tell you, Amanda's not ready for it.
I think that people should come out, not just because it's going to be super cool and really pretty and all that, but if you want to see somebody have a panic attack while they're doing a podcast.
What do you think it's going to be weird to you? Like, I've been doing this a long time. I don't give a shit.
This is what you do. This is
right,
not
that's
what
I'm
I
saying.
do.
So I don't give a shit.
I'm nervous and I'm in my garage.
So I was picturing what this would look like. This is not a show. As Tukey would say, this is not a show. How would they do this live? They're going to talk about self-checkout, using coupons and
Probably
shit like that. So I looked up the website to be like, how are they billing this thing that hasn't even been around very long?
Bring out their son on the stage,
Nobody
show everybody
likes.
what a loser he is.
Do you like feeling awkward?
So I went to the website. This is the Magic 94.9 Winter Seltzerland because Neutral is presenting it. And that's the big thing, is that they're going to have like alcoholic beverages there. And apparently this gross thing is going to show up. And so
It's gonna slime its way in
so
through the vents.
I was looking through the description of this thing. Come eat, drink, dance, and slay. Friday, December 13th, Duke Energy Center at the theater. Explore and sample a curated collection of over 80 beverages, including refreshing hard seltzers, innovative craft cocktails, ready-to-drink cocktails, and wines. Ready-to-drink cocktails. Oh, I want to go sample some of these ready-to-drink cocktails. You mean the kind they sell in a can at the liquor store?
Yeah. Literally, you're going to show up at this place, and it's going to be like the same thing you would have at a stadium.
You're right.
You can walk up to a car and get a...
Ooh, a Blue Moon. Interesting. I'll try one of those. It says, with special guests from Real Housewives, Teresa and Gia Giudice, or whatever it is.
I know who that is. That's the one who went to jail. Her and her husband.
Okay.
Giudice or something.
Giudice. And Beats by DJ Eakin. Plus prizes and surprises. No mention of Mike Calta and Amanda at all. So I went to the radio stations putting this out. I'm like, well, they must have some promotion for this to promote this. They're going to talk about how like radio legend Mike Calta is going to be there, this winter Seltzerland. And lo and behold, nope. No mention of them at all. Nothing to be nervous about, Amanda. No one's coming to this thing to see you guys.
Maybe
you'll
they're
be
bartending.
fine. Possibly. That would make more sense.
God damn it. We need more cans, Amanda.
They're just opening up. We're on a beach.
We need more of those little plastic cups.
Oh, we were talking about how she's a therapist. Mm-hmm. They're about to embark on an 8-hour drive for Thanksgiving with her 2 parents and their 2 kids. So the 6 of them are going to drive 8 hours to get to some destination where they're going to go hiking. All things I'm sure Mike Calta is very excited about.
Oh my
hanging out with the
God.
in-laws, hiking. I'm sure he's really ecstatic about it. So they're talking about this long car drive and how Amanda's going to pass the time.
So we're going to stop a lot. I'm going to play Block Blast probably for 7 hours and then sleep for an hour.
This is the dumbest game. It's like a half-assed Tetris that my daughter brought into the family, and now we can't stop playing it.
I feel like it's better than Tetris now.
It is not better than Tetris. You can't flip this. You can't flip the blocks.
Right. But Tetris, I think that Tetris is partially responsible for my anxiety disorder because it would start to get so fast when you were like doing
The music
well.
gets hotter.
Everything just starts going crazy. Am
Yeah.
I boring you?
She has an anxiety disorder.
Because of
From
Tetris going too
Tetris.
fast?
Tetris is pretty intense, guys. I don't know if you realize that.
And this person's giving life advice to others?
That was my thinking, too. Someone comes in, they're just like, I'm just anxious all the time. I can't sleep. Are you playing Tetris? Yeah, actually, I am. All right, I solved another one. Cured another patient.
And that was the first time she cracked a smile in all of these clips.
Yeah.
And it was barely a smile, but talking about
Playing that video
whatever
game she's
block
going to play. Yeah.
better than Tetris.
It's called Block Blast.
Thank you.
I wrote it down in my notes in case I wanted to check it out later.
Oh, show off.
This Block Blast sounds kind of fun. It's like Tetris, but more boring. I'm in. It doesn't speed up or get hard. All right. That's for
Come on,
me.
Carl. We're going out drinking. Nope.
No, I doubt it. My level 28 over here. All right, Vinny, what else did you pick up on from this show, this fantastic show?
Oh, God, Carl, I don't think they bang very much.
No, they do not.
That
was the first thing I picked up on. They're like, let's get the daughter out of the house so that we could go play blackjack. Okay.
So he does this thing where he does this a lot, where he's like, hey, Did you see me do this? Like a child, like, hey, did you see me? Looking for approval. Hit my clip 10.
After my show, I went outside and did some man work, moved some furniture around, and we screwed some stuff in, unscrewed some stuff, duct taped some stuff. Were you like, that's my man? Did you look at me like, that's my man? Like, do you ever get into those feelings when I do like man stuff where you're like, that's my man?
Yeah.
No, that's not. I just feel like that's not true. That shows about
I
honesty.
didn't see you screw or tape or anything.
Yeah, but when I came in, everything was done.
Right, but I saw it getting done.
But you didn't see me doing it?
And I didn't see you doing it.
I mean, I was supervising.
I know. You were sitting there for sure.
I don't know what his point is. I don't know if he's trying to be funny.
I think so.
But hold on.
He's trying to get a sitcom out of this, I think is what's going on. Also, her personality is that she likes 90s gangster rap. Every shirt she's wearing on all of these is some 90s hip hop group.
I would like to hear her sing along.
Canceled. It's not going to last long.
She had a Tribe Called Quest one on.
Yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Wu-Tang.
Carl, he's very insecure. 13.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question.
What?
I know there's a lot of times where you look at me, I don't do anything like a man does. Like, I know you wish you had a husband that's like, I want to redo in the bathroom, and you wish that I could just get a hammer and go redo the bathroom, but I don't have any of that in me whatsoever.
Right.
But in the middle of the night when I was like, I had to go out and put some gas in the generator, and I went out there and put the gas in and started the generator, and then we had air again, we were like, God damn, I want to have sex with that guy.
I was happy that you did it.
Yeah.
But I was scared because I didn't have a lot of faith that you could do it.
Whoa.
Oh, God. This really is like a shitty 90s sitcom where it's like, the father can't do anything right. It's so wacky.
Mom's a bitch.
Yeah, mom's a bitch and dad's helpless. Wow. What a dynamic. Never seen that before.
Follow that up with clip 14. It's right after this.
Listen, understandable. But I did do it.
You did.
Yeah. So.
No, and I appreciate that.
And then I did, right after it was over, I did the next best thing.
Go to sleep.
Leave me alone. That's
Dude, well, I mean, I don't know how to describe this relationship. This does not need to be a show, Mike. I know you're a professional. You had Brad Williams on there. I love Brad. I've seen you had a lot of good guests. Like,
he also hates Kevin Brennan, so I like that about Mike Calta.
Yeah, like
he's one of the thousands of people that's having a feud with Kevin Brennan.
You're never going to win doing a show with your wife. Ask Carl.
Well, I was going to point this out because I have podcasts with my wife. I just did earlier this week when we were going through the old Stuttering John podcast that we were going through. Jen and I have never had a show where we talked about our lives together, our dynamic.
Did you take the garbage out?
Yeah. I would never even think to do that. It seems so boring and stupid. I would never do something like that.
I don't know. The one time you two let your guard down, we got a whole lot of fodder out of that.
I know, because I was doing a fucking consequence for the creep off. The creep off's going to be at the end of me.
Tell everybody what you have to do now.
I have to wax my chest. I don't know how that ended up on the Wheel of Consequences. I walk in one day, and Vinny's like, at number 6 is wax your chest. I'm like, where did that come from? It's not related to the show. It doesn't make any fucking sense. I even asked before I even spun. I'm like, where did that one come from? What are we doing with this thing?
Someone broke in.
Vinny just adds this shit, and he waits till I have to spin, and all of a sudden there's all these new things out there that are painful. It's great.
You're welcome, everybody.
Who are these